Welcome back to Fundamental Flow. This will be Fundamental Flow Part 2. I want to start just by thanking everyone for all the awesome love and feedback I got for Fundamental Flow 1. It's so comforting and reassuring and just awesome to be able to connect with you all and people that I may not have ever had the opportunity to lead through a yoga practice, that I get to do this. So I'm super grateful for that. And keep the questions coming, keep the feedback coming, requests, questions that might come up throughout your practice. I'm super happy and I have a lot of time on my hands. So I'm happy to help out any way I can. So today's class, last I was just kind of getting the hang of this, but this class we will actually work our way into a moving meditation by request of my mom. So we will actually get into a flow today, like an actual sequence. And it'll stay simple, I promise, but it'll feel really good after too. So find space on your mat. We'll get started the same way let's get started seated. Let's do that since that's what we have space for. So I had some questions about the breath. So rule of thumb, unless I'm cueing like a special breathing exercise or maybe an audible sigh, your breath will just stay in through the nose and out through the nose throughout your practice. You might hear different things in different yoga practices or different classes, different studios that you go to, but rule of thumb, the way I practice, the way I teach, in through the nose, out through the nose. However, you will hear me throughout practice call out an audible sigh. So that will go in through the nose, out through the mouth. Audible sigh, love those. So rule of thumb, unless I'm cueing a special practice or breath or audible sigh, in through the nose, out through the nose. We'll get started with a little kind of breathing breath exercise. So you can just bring your hands to your thighs and sit comfortably. So maybe you're propped against a wall or a piece of furniture. Maybe you're on your knees like this. Find a seat that is comfortable for you. And we'll just bring the hands to the thighs, the palms to the thighs. So we'll start just by cueing a little bit of posture here. So you would imagine like you have a string from the crown of your head down through your tailbone, and it's really straight and tall and long. I'm not jutting my rib cage out, but I'm staying just really lengthened. So reaching up through the crown of the head and really solid through the sits bones. There's also just a slight tuck of my chin, just a little bit of a bow, nothing crazy or uncomfortable, just a little bow of the chin. And so let's start with a little breathing exercise. We'll go in through the mouth, in through the nose, 4 count, little pause at the top, and then exhale out through the mouth, a little sigh. And your sighs can be loud, they can be roars, they can be growls, or they can just be really soft exhales. So let's do that together. We'll go in through the nose. 2, 3, 4, little pause at the top, exhale, all the air out. And again, inhale through the nose, 2, 3, 4, little pause at the top, and exhale. Let's do that again, inhale, pause, again, inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale. Let's go right into some stretches. So inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. I'll face you for this, I think that might help. Inhale, reach the palms up, and then exhale, side body stretch. So right hand down to the mat, left fingertips reach up and over. So we talked about this last time for sure, but I'll go through it again. Make sure you're not crunching over, your bicep isn't in your face. You're almost leaning back slightly, and then there's a nice gentle melt through the right elbow. And my shoulder isn't getting involved. I'm still keeping my shoulder down and away from my ear, lots of space right here. I used to have a crazy ballet teacher with really long nails, and she would go around and poke us in the ear and in the shoulder. And so, do that. Remember, I mean it. And now let's come up through center. And exhale, take it over to the left. So left hand down, right arm up and overhead. Make sure you're not crunching over your face. Maybe like in a slight lean back. A good way to fix any crunching is bring your gaze high. You can't crunch and have your gaze up high. So that's kind of a nice fix. Reaching long through the right fingertips. Remember the crazy nails. And then reach up. And then exhale, let's just bring right hand to left knee, left hand to right knee, and round the spine. Feel kind of nice. And then bring the hands behind you, just hands down, and lift the hips, or maybe just arch the spine, lift the chest, let the chin move back. Breathe in, and open the mouth. And now bring your hands forward, find tabletop pose. So we went through this last time too, but I'll go through it again. So looking down at the hand, super important placement. You want your index fingers pointing directly forward, slight turn out with the hands, and then I'm pushing right in between the shoulder blades. Imagine my hand is in between your shoulder blades and you're pushing it up towards the sky. And then we'll just start with some simple cats and cows. So inhale, arch your spine, gaze up. Exhale, round your spine, look out back at your toes. Inhale, and exhale. Again, inhale, and exhale. Again, inhale, and exhale, round the spine. Now we'll come forward just slightly, curl the toes, and really slowly start to send the hips to downward facing dog. When you arrive there, bend one knee, bend the other knee, settle in. So we didn't do a huge, crazy floor stretching warm-up, but I promise we'll do that at the end, towards the end of class, so don't worry, you won't miss out. So again, there's this myth that you have to be a good yogi, your heels have to touch a downward facing dog. And I don't know where that came from. It's not true. You want your heels melting towards the mat, and you want to push down. I misspoke last time. You are pushing down through your palms, but the majority of your weight, this is a little neurotic, but the knuckle, your index finger knuckle and the knuckle next to it, that's where you're really applying the pressure. So this right here and right here is really where I'm pushing down into the mat. Make sure your fingers are nice and wide. There's lots of space between your fingers. If some of this doesn't make sense, don't worry. Just keep going. You're in the right place, don't worry. And now let's just step the feet wide, about the width of your mat, so your pinky toes are just at the edges of your mat. Bend your knees and crawl your hands back towards your feet. Keep the knees bent as much as you need. Let this be relatively comfortable. And then just grab your elbows and sway. Shake your head yes and no. Make sure you're not holding tension in the back of your neck. Imagine like you have weights on your elbows and your torso is like a branch, a tree branch, and it's kind of windy out. So imagine that. And then release the elbows, bend back in your knees if you straighten them. And really slowly, tucking the chin into your chest, I want you to imagine like you're stacking each vertebrae on one another as you slowly come all the way up to stand. So really slowly, like you're unfolding. Chin stays tucked until the last minute, and then arrive. Let's take a little neck stretch, because that always feels good. Reach the right arm up high. Right fingertips to left ear, and then take the neck over. So right ear, right shoulder. And then maybe move this hand around a little. Maybe even bring chin to chest. That feels good. My back of my neck's always ouchy, so this feels good. Let your hand be really heavy into your head, and then push your hand back into your head, back into your hand. Come on up, let's take the other side. Left arm reaches high, grabs right ear, take it over to the left shoulder. And then kind of tuck the chin, that feels nice. And now interlace the fingers, bring them behind the head, kind of at the base of your skull, top of your neck. And then chin to chest, elbows in, push head into hands, hands into head. And just kind of sway a little side to side, or rock your neck a little side to side. You're not supposed to be doing that. All right, let's find some side body stretches. So inhale, reach up tall, let the palms touch at the top, and then exhale, take it over to the right. You guys are pros now, so you know that you're sliding your left shoulder down and away. You're kind of leaning back, maybe bringing your gaze high so you're not crunching and covering your face. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, take it over to the left. Right fingertips reach really long, right shoulder slides down and away. And then come on up. Let's reach around like you're gonna put your hands in your pockets, but your thumbs are gonna kiss this time. And it's like right on that dishy part of your spine, which is your sacrum. So right on your lower back, just like you're holding yourself at the waist. And now bend into your knees and push your hips forward as you lean back slightly. Maybe let the chin go. More of a front body stretch, a heart opener, rather than a big back bend. And release. Fold all the way down. Bend your knees as you fold down. And let's take a twist. So bend your knees as much as you need. Left hand plants, right arm reaches high. Let's make some circles here. So circle out the wrist and let that melt into some bigger circles so you're back stroking with your right arm. Big giant circles. And then reach up. If you have shoulder stuff, you know, be mindful. If something hurts, really listen to your body and honor that. And let's just switch that out. So right hand down, left arm goes high, circle out left wrist. And then big giant circles with the arm. Now, of course, be careful if you've got shoulder stuff. You know, some of you do for sure. So be mindful of that, okay? And knees bent as much as you need. And release. Let's heel toe the feet in just slightly so they're underneath your hips. And we're going to work on this half lift. I definitely use this a lot in my class, so I want you to understand, and I'll give you a side view. So let's just, for all intents and purposes, feet just underneath your hips, bend your knees as much as you need, and take a forward fold. On your inhale, bring your fingertips to your knees or your shins, and find a straight spine. I don't really mind. If the legs go straight, fantastic, but, oh, I said fantastic a lot last time. I'm not going to do that. So if your legs go straight, that's fine, but don't make that your biggest goal. What I'm really looking for is a nice straight spine. So you can keep the knees bent, and that actually helps. That makes the straight spine a little bit more accessible. So maybe do that. Exhale, fold. So inhale, I'm going to keep my knees bent as I half lift. And my gaze is just forward, so maybe just at the top of your mat, but I'm not looking up. And if you have a mirror, you're going to be tempted to do that, but don't. Exhale, fold. Let's do that again. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Palms touch at the top. Exhale, let's take it over to the right. Big side body stretch. Inhale, reach up tall, palms touch. So now we're moving like one breath, one movement, right? I'll still stay slow. Exhale over to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold all the way down. Now we're gonna crawl forward to plank, top of push-up. So if plank is super intense for you and that's not comfortable, come to your knees, not a problem. You can still get the same benefits. But most important thing here, it's going to set you up for a proper plank or a proper knee plank, is your hand placement. Same thing, index fingers directly forward, lots of space between the fingertips, and a slight turn out. This will help too. The eyes, so when my hands are here in a plank, getting ready for maybe a chaturanga, the eyes of your elbows will spiral forward. That's going to set up really proper shoulder alignment and also slide the shoulder blades down. So that's another little cue to remember. So here I am, my index fingers are pointed directly forward, lots of space between my fingertips, slight turn out of the hands, and then the eyes of my elbows are spiraling forward. That's huge. So now exhale, let's lower all the way down. If that's accessible to you, a full push-up, great. If not, maybe lower to your knees. Think chest first as you lower all the way down. Bend the elbows, hug them in towards your sides. Now take the feet out wide so you can feel the sides of your mats with the side of your mat with your big toes. Slide your hands back slightly and come up for cobra pose. Maybe your elbows stay bent for this first, or for now, that's fine. Elbows stay bent. Keep the chin slightly tucked, and maybe you come all the way up. Maybe that's comfortable. If so, just kind of rock into it. And now exhale, let's send it back to downward facing dog. Speaking of dogs. All right, so here I am in our down dog. We'll start to move through a little sun egg. So inhale, come high on your toes. So just lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees for bear pose. So bear pose, I'm on the balls of my feet. My knees are bent and my chest is pushing back towards my thighs. I'm really pushing down through the index knuckle and the knuckle next to it for leverage. And now take a walk. Bring your feet up to your hands. Step, step, step. Keep your knees bent. And now for our half lift. Keep your feet about hips distance apart. Inhale, half lift. Knees can stay bent. Exhale, fold. Maybe hug your thighs or calves. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Maybe hopefully with a straight spine. Exhale, cactus the arms. So here's your cactus, making little L's with your elbows, and a slight lean back. Inhale, reach up, let the palms touch. Exhale, bend your knees. Thumbs come just between the eyebrows as you fold all the way down. Again, we'll take our half lift. Inhale, bring the fingertips to your shins. Nice straight spine. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees as much as you need. Bring your hands to the mat. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Plank pose. If plank is too much, come to your knees. Not a problem. Slowly lower. Think chest first. Inhale for cobra. Exhale back to down dog. Let's move through that again. Here we go. Inhale, come high on your toes, so just lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees, bear pose. So my heels stay lifted, my chest goes back towards my thighs, and take a walk. Bring your feet up to your hands. Keep your knees bent, comfortable as possible. Feet hips distance apart. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down as you rise. What does that mean? Great question. Root down, so really plant through the feet. All four corners of the feet solid on the mat as I come up with a straight back all the way up. Inhale, breath. Exhale, cactus the arms, lean back slightly. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, thumbs to your third eye as you fold all the way down. Inhale for half lift, fingertips to shins. Exhale, plant the hands, take it back. So step your right foot back, step your left foot back, maybe lower to the knees, lower slow. Inhale for cobra. Keep the shoulders out of the ears here, super important. Exhale, take it back. Bend your knees and just walk your hands back towards your feet. And just come on up to a stand. So now we'll start to build our flow. So we'll move through maybe like 4 or 5 poses. I'll guide you through really slow and I'll give you tons of verbose cues because that's what I do. And then we'll start to move and make it just like a little dance. If that word scares you, don't worry, you'll be fine. So, standing at the backs of our mats, feet about hips distance apart, really strong. Not on top of the tailbone, but the hip points right here, slight tilt up towards the bottom rib. I don't know if I really want to go. Okay, yeah, so spine. So it's in our nature to either kind of stand like this, like a duck butt, or stand like this, which a lot of us are like this, whether it's from being on computers or on the phone or whatever, we end up kind of crouched over like this. So we want to create the longest spine possible. So to do that, same thing, crown of the head reaches up really tall, and then to avoid any like dumping into the spine or duck butt, I think just a slight tilt with the tailbone. So I'm not tucking by any means, definitely not. I'm just extending the spine for a nice long spine. Okay, so that takes years of practice, but it's super important. So practice that when you're standing. And now we'll just bring our palms facing the front, shoulders down and away from the ears, and we'll go into our flow. So on our inhale breath, we're going to step forward with our right foot into crescent A, Alanasana. I'm just going to step forward, bend into my front knee, so it's a high lunge. There's a lot of things happening here, but the most important, well, I'll just go through all of them. To maintain balance here and strength here, my belly button is constantly in towards my spine, so I'm really engaged through my core. Belly button into spine, belly button into spine, belly button into spine. Another thing that will help with balance is to think of scissoring the thighs. Thighs will reach towards one another, kind of like they're magnets being drawn towards one another. That energetic force will bring you lift, balance, and stability. Another thing to note is my feet are on railroad tracks here. So I'm not on a tightrope, no, I'm on railroad tracks. And I will say, the wider your stance, the easier it will be to find your balance, okay? So maybe for the first couple rounds, you take it really wide and a little short. That's fine. Find your bearings, get comfortable, and then start to test yourself. So I'm gonna do that again. Gabriella, I'm ruining the video. Okay, so standing at the back of our mat, I'm gonna step forward on my inhale breath into high crescent pose. Crescent A, Alanasana, whatever you want to call it. All right, inhale, step forward, bending into that knee. And so the back leg, ideally, it's like super straight and strong, but you'll notice, like throughout my practice too, it gets soft and bendy. Don't get down on yourself. Ideally, yeah, super strong straight leg, but it's okay if it's a little soft. Very important though, super important, is my knees over my heel, okay? This will give you such bad knees if you don't have them already like me. Stay soft in that front knee and make sure the knee stays over the heel. If you're noticing yourself like this, yikes, ouch, it hurts, bump that foot up. Simple. Arms reach up tall, everything's square, hips, shoulders, eyes, fingertips, everything's strong, shoulders are sliding down. Great. Looks good, feels good. This is crescent A. Take a little mental picture. You look fabulous. And now, on our exhale, we'll open up to warrior B. Front foot and leg stay the same. All I'm really doing, back foot will spin flat, arms will open out wide, and my hips, essentially for this, will face towards the left side of my mat. Arms reach out. Belly button into spine. Deep bend in my knee, and if you guys probably heard me mention it a million times, but my darling friend and yoga teacher Anton has such a cool way of putting warrior B. So we'll see a lot of things in warrior B. A lot of times people will be like, oh, reaching really far forward, and like their chest comes over their front thigh. That gives you kind of a hint that maybe you're a little worried about what's coming next. You're too consumed with the future, worried about the future, worried about what's coming next. Oh my gosh, am I ready? Is everything okay? You don't need to be like that. A lot of times we'll see this, right? And we're leaning too far into our past. So maybe we're dissecting past actions, past experiences, and maybe holding some guilt, shame, fear, whatever. We are right here, we are right now. So my shoulders are just over my hips. My hips are just in between my feet. Balanced, present, here, now. So that's kind of a fun, a beautiful way to remember to keep your weight evenly balanced through your feet. Okay, sorry, I can't help it. So on my inhale, legs are gonna come straight, My back foot leg stays pretty much the same. I'm going to turn my toes so everything is square towards the left side of my mat. So this is standing star. Standing star. So everything's facing the left side of my mat. Toes are facing forward towards the left side of my mat. Hip bones, shoulders, eyes, reach the arms up high. Standing star. That's my inhale breath. On my exhale, I'm going to turn my toes out. Heels come in. Hands come to heart. And my knees bend. Goddess pose. Love goddess. We'll be here for a little bit. Super important to make sure your knees aren't rolling forward. You're not doing funky things like that. This is not ballet class, so we don't need to have perfect turnout here. Your feet can be normal and comfortable. Shocker. And so if I look down, I can see my big toe. I can see my big toe. My knees are rolling forward. So the pose starts from the hips. It starts from a beautiful, strong, muscular place. Hands up, goddess pose. Could go on and on, but I'll spare you. Inhale, reach up tall, right back to standing star. You've been here before, you know what's up. Toes forward, hips forward, shoulders forward, square, standing star. Exhale, open back up to warrior B, front of the room. Just exactly where you were a few moments ago. So what does that entail? I'm going to turn my front toes so they face directly towards the front of the mat and bend into my front knee. Back leg is straight. Slight turn in with the back foot. Arms reach out. I'm not worried. I'm not tripping off what I did yesterday or 5 minutes ago. I'm right here. I'm present. I'm good. And inhale. Let's reverse our warrior. So everything stays the same with my legs. Nothing changes. All I'm going to do is reach my right arm up and back. Inhale. Same thing. So I'm reaching with my right fingertips, but I'm bending deep into my front knee, but I'm keeping my shoulder away from my ear. Remember the nails. Reach back. This should feel nice, but work too. And then exhale, let's just step to the back of our mat. I wish I could do that more gracefully. I'll figure that out at some point. But that's our flow, okay? So I'm gonna go through it on the left. I won't be as crazy about blah, 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 blah. And then we'll start to move through it. Like, we'll make it fun. Sorry, I didn't really kick her, she's fine. All right, so feet underneath your hips, nice strong stance. Not a tuck of the tailbone, but a lengthening of the spine. Palms face forward. And then on our inhale breath, we'll step forward with our left foot into crescent A, Alanasana. Big step, bend into my front knee, make sure my knee is over my heel. Back leg is straight, but I'm not gonna be too crazy with myself. I'm gonna let it be soft if I want it to be. And then reach my arms up tall. Most important thing, say if you're not gonna do anything else here, make sure your knee is over your heel. Don't mess up your knees. Belly button into spine. I think inner thighs in towards one another. That gives me strength and balance. Big inhale. Exhale, open up, warrior B. So back foot will go flat. Front knee stays bent. Nice deep bend. Arms reach out wide. Again, not worried. Not tripping. Right here. Shoulders, hips, just in between your feet. It's kind of pretty. I like that. Inhale, we'll come up now, standing star facing the right side of your mat. So a different view. So my toes are facing forward, my hips are facing forward, my shoulders, palms touch up at the top. Exhale, we'll turn the toes out, bend the knees for goddess pose. It's like a grand plie in second position. For all the ballerinas out there. I look down, I'm not doing funny things with my knees. I can see my big toes. I know that the pose is coming from my glutes and my hips and my thighs. I'm not psycho turning out and hurting my knees anymore. I'm staying soft and kind to myself. Goddess pose, hands at heart. Inhale, come right back up, standing star, palms touch, toes forward, hips forward, everything forward. Exhale, open up to warrior B to the front. that I promise. So I turn my left toes out. I turn my back toes in a little bit, essentially, and reach my arms out. Warrior B. Inhale, flip the palm, reverse the warrior. Everything stays the same on the bottom. Deep bend in the front knee, straight back leg, and then exhale, just step to the back of your mat. So that's our flow, and we're going to move through it. We'll go one breath per movement, but I'll keep the breath really slow so we keep a nice, comfortable pace. All right, standing at the back of our mat. Palms face forward. Inhale, step forward with the right foot, crescent A. Settle in. Exhale, open up, warrior B, back foot goes flat. Simple. Inhale, standing star facing the left. Exhale, turn the toes out, bend the knees, goddess pose. Inhale, right back, standing star. Exhale, warrior B, front of the room. Bending into that front knee, back toes turn in slightly. Now everything stays the same on the bottom. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And that's it. Exhale, step to the back of your mat. Now we'll do the other side. Deep breath. Let's take an audible sigh here. So in through the nose. Exhale, open the mouth. Ha. Inhale, left foot forward, crescent A. Exhale, back foot flat, warrior B. Inhale, standing star facing the right side of your mat. Exhale, turn the toes out, bend the knees, goddess pose, hands at heart. Inhale, straighten the legs, everything square forward, right back to standing star. Exhale, warrior B, front of the room. Bend into the left knee. Everything stays the same on the bottom. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, step into the back of your mat. All right, let's do that one more time, and we'll just see how fluid we can become. Not fast, but fluid. All right, here we go. Inhale, step forward, right foot. Exhale, warrior B. Inhale, standing star, face the left. Exhale, goddess pose, turn the toes out, bend. Inhale, standing star. Exhale, warrior B, front of the room. Inhale, reverse your warrior, reach up. Exhale, step to the back of your mat. I'm gonna have to, I'll make that transition better next time, I promise. Left side, inhale, step forward. Exhale, open up, warrior B. Back foot flat. Inhale, come up, standing star, face the right side. Exhale, turn the toes out, bend the knees, goddess pose. Inhale, reach up, palms touch. Exhale, warrior B, front of the room. Inhale, reverse your warrior, everything stays the same on the bottom. And then exhale. So, I suggest you do that over and 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 over again until it feels comfortable, kind of second nature-ish, and then put on your favorite song and do that, like all day long. But it is a moving meditation. The most important part is the breath, so make sure you're matching the proper breath to the proper movement. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and so on and so forth. But that's the flow. Let's do a standing pose. So let's take warrior 3. And this may be a little bit advanced for some folks, so if you want to just watch, that's totally fine. We're going to go into warrior 3. I think the best way to do that is from probably standing L. So I'm going to take a forward fold. Sorry, I'm walking through this with you. Be patient, I apologize. Bend the knees, forward fold, hands to the mat. And bend as much as you need for that, okay? Now, crawling your fingertips forward, lift your left leg high. And maybe this is as high as it goes. Maybe standing L, which is essentially this. I'm making an L with my legs. Maybe that's your standing pose for the day. Great, I love it. What I'm gonna be all crazy about is the hip placement here. So if you notice, this is a very different pose than what we're looking for right now. The hips stay square. I want you to imagine like if you had a tray of glasses, they could balance perfectly here on your sacrum, so that your hip's not open. Also, I don't mind if you point or flex the lifted foot, but do something with it. Why am I asking for that? Because I want the left leg to stay engaged. I want it to stay active. I want it to stay really straight. If you keep this right knee bent the whole time, fine, no big deal, but I'd like a really straight left leg. So here we are in standing L. All right, so if you are going to move into, if you are going to move into warrior 3, we'll just go simple. It's simple, not easy, so don't get down on yourself. If this isn't, if it's not accessible, it's all good. All right, so I've got I'm planted down strong through the four corners of my right foot. My left leg is lifted, and I'm gonna point my toes, because that's what I do. All right, if I'm gonna go into my warrior 3, all I'm gonna do is bring my hands to heart. Whew. Backside body, lots of energy, lots of extension. Notice I'm not doing funny things, I'm not lifting my chin, I'm keeping it really straight, crown of the head reaching forward, hands at heart. I'm not opening up this hip, I'm keeping it really square, like that. Yeah, might flex to help to flex the toes, hands at heart. Let's be here for 2 more breaths. And come up to stand. Whew, no joke, huh? All right, so now we'll go into the other side. So take a nice forward fold, bend the knees, crawl the fingertips forward. As you do so, your right leg will lift now. Here you are in standing L with the right leg lifted. So standing L is your prep pose. Take advantage of having your hands on the mat, right? So you can get everything perfect and proper with your leg placement before you even have to really worry about the balance too much. I love you. Super square with the right hip. I'm extending long, maybe I'm pointing my toes or flexing my toes. Either way, no big deal. And then I'm gonna bring my hands to heart center. Whew. If you have like a bar or a dog or a piece of furniture for balance, go ahead and use it. Hands at heart. If that left knee's bent, fine. If your leg isn't as high or whatever, fine. But just give it a shot. Or maybe you're staying here and standing L and this is enough. It's a lot. And you're constantly going through like, what are the cues I need to remember? Can I do this more? Can I do that more? And release. Ooh, that was a good workout. Okay, let's go into some seated and lying down stretches. So let's take our feet wide. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, bend the knees, fold all the way down. Shake the head out a little bit. And then just sit down. Let's take a couple twists here. I'm wondering what angle will be the best to see. Let's go like this. So I'm going to extend my left foot and bend my right knee, bringing my right foot flat. It might be comfortable just like this, or you can cross your right ankle over your left knee. Wherever you are, make sure you're not slouching, right? I was just doing that naturally. I'm like, oh, okay. No, stay up so you're on your sits bones, on your tailbone. And then reach the right hand back, not leaning into it, not watching TV, but it is there to support you. Reach the left arm high. And now take your twist. So my left elbow is coming to the outer edge of my right knee. I'm pushing into my right fingertips to stay lifted, and I'm taking the twist. My rib cage is spiraling towards the right. That creepy look in your eye. All right. Super important. This is cool. So super important to keep the length here. So you notice I'm kind of crouching over a little bit. So let your inhale. As I inhale, I press into my right fingertips for length. On my exhales, I push a little deeper into my left elbow for depth. I get a little bit deeper into my twist. And release. Let's do the other side. I'm hoping this angle helps. So right foot, leg extends forward, bend left knee, foot can come flat, or it can cross over. Either way, I'll do this way right now because that feels good. Left fingertips to the mat, not like I'm watching television, but it's there for support. Reach your right arm high, and now right elbow comes to the outer edge of your left knee. If it doesn't make it all the way, like, don't freak out, you're fine. Maybe it's just like right here, maybe it rests on top of your knee. Cool. And then take your twist. So your rib cage is spiraling towards the left now. And so on my inhale, I think press into my left fingertips, find length. On my exhale, I take it deep and push into my right elbow and twist deeper. Inhale up, exhale, twist. Feels nice. And release. Let's see, let's do hip opener. So we did figure 4 last time, which was just lying down like this. I'm going to give you a couple more options for another hip opener that I actually like to use called stacked logs. So I'm going to bend my left knee, just kind of like a seed, and then cross so my shins stack like logs. You can see this hip is not super happy about it, and that's fine. Your hips might look like this, or it might look different, but be open to whatever your body's asking or telling you right here. And maybe this is enough. Maybe this feels like a deep stretch. Good. If you want, you can take it over, little fold. And be here. In more like challenging postures or places that feel a little ouchy, it really is important to come back to your breath. So when you start to you can soften a little, mentally, physically, emotionally. And maybe you're starting to come back to the intention that you set at the beginning of class. And let's just switch. So, right knee just bends comfortably, whatever. And then left shin stacks on top of right. So essentially I'm going like this with my feet, my legs, my shins. One side might look different than the other, and that's pretty normal, so don't worry. Inhale, you can reach up. Maybe this is enough for you. Maybe right here is like a really good deep stretch. Some days that's what it is for me too. Or you can lean forward. Let's lie down onto our backs and take one more line twist. I've been kicked off my mat, so that's cool. I'll try and find the space. Just lie down onto your back, hug your knees into your chest, and then just let your knees fall over towards the left as you gaze to the right. Ooh, you might hear a snap, crackle, pop, and that feels good. That's great. That's a release. So I cactus my right arm, so making an L shape with my elbow. and I really do honestly let this pose just kind of fall on me. I don't try to force too much, but if I need a little bit more, if I'm not feeling it quite enough, then I start to focus on bringing my right rib cage and shoulder blade down towards the mat. Come on up, and let's just switch to the other side. So knees fall to the right, gaze goes to the left. I cactus my left elbow now. And I let the pose fall on me. I kind of just see what my body has to say first, and then I'll make adjustments from there. That might sound weird, but it makes sense to me. So if I want a little bit more, I'm going to actively try to get my left rib cage and shoulder blade down closer to the mat. Here's another important one. So maybe you're sitting up against a wall, you can just bring your feet up against the wall, or you just bring your feet simply up overhead like so. We obviously spend a lot of time on our feet, so our blood is constantly flowing towards our feet. So it's nice to get an opposite kind of flow and let the blood kind of fall out of our feet for a bit. It's really nice on your lower spine. If you're walking a lot, this is super important and helpful. And from here, I'll just guide you into a Shavasana space. So let the feet go out just naturally wide. Arms just kind of fall down at your sides. So Shavasana, if you don't know, Shavasana translates literally into corpse pose. Corpse might have a negative connotation, but it's not. It's kind of like the life cycle of your practice, right? So really everything you've done up until this point has been in preparation for this posture. It really is the most important posture that you will do throughout your practice. Jeez, I offended her. So, you can let your breath fully relax. Just notice the natural rise and fall of your inhales and exhales. Be soft. If there's any edges that are still sharp, see if you can spend a little extra time in softening those, whether it's thoughts in your head or emotions you're experiencing, or physical tenderness, tightness, tension in your body. So again, I suggest that you stay here in Shavasana for at least 5 minutes. If you're like my family, my grandpa, who I know is watching this, my aunt and uncle, my parents, you are probably very well versed, and you could probably meditate and stay in Shavasana for a very long time, which is great. Props to you. But for the sake of this video, for the sake of this instruction, we'll bend our knees, hug them into your chest, and fall all the way over to your left. So my left bicep becomes my pillow. My right hand comes just in front of my heart. And then I'll press up to a seat. So, finding a comfortable space, lengthen the spine, a little lift in the chest, slight bow of the chin. We can bring our hands to heart. So I close this practice in full and complete gratitude for you. New friends, old friends, family. I'm so grateful for this connection, for this opportunity, for this practice, and for all of you. Hope to see you next time again.